And we are back. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Tactical Devils are back on track after 1 week. Sorry, I'm not here to produce content for you guys. If there's nothing to talk about, there's nothing to talk about. But we are back. Good to see everybody. We have people in the house. Gavin Underwood is already here. Faith is coming in with a comment and saying new intro. Yes. Well, we will try this just for a little while and see if it suits us. I don't know, Stu. What do you think about the new intro?
I quite like the new intro. Evening all the way. It's good to be back. Nice to have had a week off, but good to be back. And I like the new intro. It's rather slick. Although I appear to be wearing this top in it, so maybe I should retire this top. I don't know. But no, it was nice to have a bit of time off. I spent a bit of time with the family, as you do. Bought myself a new motor, so I'm quite happy about that. And I've got a lot on in the next few weeks, so it's just nice to relax before it all kicks off in earnest in April, old friends. Well, I'll be China bound. So
yes, but a new motor, Stu. Wow.
I did. I bought myself a new car. I needed a new motor. I needed to tune myself up. Unfortunately, and I won't bore you with all the details, but lost a couple of close friends recently. So, it's just nice to cheer myself.
Yeah, that's a good thing. You know, and the new motor is always good. Is it a brand new or is it a almost brand new?
No, it is brand new. It's a pre-registered car. It's got 62 miles on the clock, so it's brand new. But it's quite a rare car. There's only about 160 made in the UK, so it's quite a rare car. So I'm quite looking forward to picking it up Saturday.
I knew something was off.
Something was off. We don't know what we're doing at the moment, do we? We're all a bit of a haze. What do we do?
It's good to be back. I see Danny B coming in there. Big up, Danny. We have Jarle here. We have Broderick. Guys, I haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you. I hope you have had a good week with all the internationals and all that stuff. But, you know, it's not for me. I watched Norway the other day. They won 5-0 against, was it Macedonia? Or
so someone like that, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, you know, I liked how we played. It was a good game. And I don't know, England game is still on?
Yeah, rubbish. I mean, we're only playing Latvia. So this is a trouble for England, is we don't get to play any nations of any quality. There's no Germany, Italy. We always get drawn against Latvia or Andorra or Albania or things of that nature. So, there's no real quality that we're playing against. So that's why we always, in many ways, come up short in the main competitions. I know we've done quite well recently, but ultimately when we come against a Spain, we come up against a Germany or an Italy, we're just not prepared because, we're having teams roll over all the time. Interesting start for Tuchel. But they're just weak teams, Jarvis, really. So when it comes to the crunch next summer, we probably won't be again. It's just one of those things for us. Whereas, ultimately Denmark played Portugal, didn't they, just recently? I think that was in the Nations League, wasn't it, last night? It was Italy, Germany in the Nations League, things of that nature. We didn't qualify well in the Nations League this year, so we're not playing these nations. So I think FIFA have really got to look at what they do, but they want the big countries in, don't they? They need Germany to qualify. They need England to qualify. France, Portugal.
Isn't that why they have this new thing? I don't know what it's called. Something.
The Nations League.
Nations League, yeah, Nations League.
Yeah, but again, well, I think the toughest team we played in the Nations League was Croatia. We've got to do better. But
By the way, Norway won their group in the Nations League. So if they don't qualify through the qualifier, they will have an extra chance in the Nation League's playoffs. I believe.
You need teams like Norway playing. They've got some great players. You've got Denmark, got some great players. Sweden, some really good players. But the smaller nations, and they've got every right to be represented on the world stage of football. But for us, it's they just don't test us, and I think that's an issue for us.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So England are up 3-0. Reece James, Harry Kane, and Ebenezer Eze has scored the goals.
Oh, it's
So
good to
enough
see it.
about the international games. You know, I'm
Yes,
sick of it. I don't want to talk about it. I want to go back to Man United, and I know we all miss it. We all miss it when it's not Premier League. I'm so sick of this international breaks. But let's just go back to it. And the main topic today is players back, injury boost for Amorim, and it's a triple in injury boost, even a quadruple injury boost, because we can even count in Mason Mount, because he was on the bench in the last game before the
he
international break.
was. He
Yeah.
was. Everyone
So
says Mason who?
yeah, Mason who. But the headline is Amorim is in line for a triple injury United boost. So the United players are currently who is not on the international break. They have returned to Carrington this Monday today,
Yes.
and
Yes.
they are back to work. And Garnacho came back today because he wasn't selected for Argentina duty, and we saw some pictures on Instagram from him. But it's Harry Maguire who's back. He's on the returning side after the international back, and he's been training now for a while, and I think he's soon be ready to step on that pitch again. And
Yes.
What do you expect? Do you think Harry Maguire will come straight back into the team, or is the back three now settled? Because we know we have seen De Ligt playing really well. We see Masraoui being a regular in the back three. We know I think Glenn Yoro is also maybe soon back. And we have this young kid, Aiden Heaven. So where is Maguire in all of this?
Maguire probably. Two things can happen with injured players actually, and this is what I find fascinating about football and fascinating about squads. An injury can give you your opportunity. You can grab that opportunity with two hands.
Yeah.
You might not be a fan favourite. You might not be a manager favourite. But in the world of elite football, if you are playing to a certain standard and you're helping the team, then it doesn't really matter. You continue to operate in the first 11. And I think Harry Maguire is almost a victim of this on a regular basis. He gets in through injury, has a steady stroke solid period of games, and then gets injured himself, comes out the team, and young Heaven and Yoro, they've taken their opportunity. And I think right now, as you quite rightly say, if Heaven is fit, as I think Hjulmand Amorim is suggesting, that Heaven may well be back after an international break. So maybe Tuesday next week will be a bit too early for him. Maguire may come, or Heaven may make this recovery, as youngsters tend to, and Maguire doesn't make the team. So I think I find it, certainly with the defence, Jarvis, and I would always advocate this, you only change your defensive unit when you have to, not when you want to, when you have to, because the defensive unit has an understanding. And when you have an understanding, it's an understanding of when to push forward, when to drop back, when to hold the tight line, when to play a little bit scruffy. And you get to understand and predict each other's moves. You can understand which zone your partner will operate in. You've got good communication between them. And it's to crack a cohesive defensive unit.
As a centre back yourself, you know all of this.
Yeah, yes. In the past, if for any team, it becomes very, very difficult to relearn what you've already learned over the past. And that's even for experienced footballers. And Manchester City, by the way, have proven that this season when they've chopped and changed their back four due to injuries and due to certain things. So I would like to see, and I'm pretty sure the Devilish Tacticos would like to see Mazzari, Heaven, if possible, and De Ligt. I think De Ligt has realised that he's got to step up. He's got to help young Heaven or young Yoro, Jarvis.
Yeah.
He's got a seasoned campaigner, a very, very good operator in Mazzari to his right. He's got a youngster to his left, and I think he's got this leader kind of father figure part about him that wants to help young Heaven. And I think it's a very good cohesive threesome, and I'd like to see it step out on Tuesday night against Forest away, which is going to be a hugely difficult task for us.
But don't you think it would be tempting for Amorim just to, because we know who we were up against, Chris Woods, probably the
100%,
most aerial
100%.
player in the Premier League. Wouldn't it be tempting for Amorim just to chuck Maguire straight into that team just for aerial defense?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. It will be very, very tempting. Chris Wood, I've got you back. Chris Wood, I think he's, Devilish Tacticos could bail me out here, but I think his scoring touch has deserted him just recently. He's not quite hit the back of the net. But I think that we've got bigger problems than Chris Wood, Jarvis, Morgan Gibbs-White, Alanga, Hudson-Odoi. Their goalkeeper cells. They're a fantastic outfit as a whole, Forest. So, but I think he would be tempted. But equally, though, Jarvis, I think De Ligt has stepped up, and I think he'll be, capable of putting Chris Wood in his thigh pocket, old friend.
I love.
So for me, if you can avoid changing your defensive unit, I would always do that.
Okay. Well, if you were Amorim, because
I like it.
I automatically think, why wouldn't Maguire go back into the team? Because he's one of the most trusted players under Amorim. But yes. I think we play better without Maguire, because I think Maguire is semi-sloppy on the ball, especially when it comes to like short passes.
We play Amorim's system. What you like about Amorim's system, better without Maguire.
Yeah,
Maguire won't help us with the system that you like. Now, if you are looking for somebody who's old-fashioned, who's just going to get on the ball and fucking get rid of it, because you don't want the risk of him being on the ball all the time because he's sloppy, he doesn't take the pass well. We've seen it in the past, haven't we? He won't take the pass back to goal very, very well. I think they're too quick in and around us. With Alanga, with Hudson-Odoi, with Morgan Gibbs-White, I think they'll be aggressive around us. I think we're going to need better ball players than Maguire.
Yeah.
I understand your argument. I can see your argument. I don't think Maguire comes in if Heaven's fit. If Heaven's not fit, I think Maguire goes in, Mazzari out to the left, De Ligt to the right, Maguire in the middle. That's that if Heaven isn't fit. Oh, unless do we know about Yoro? Does anyone know about Yoro? Devilish Tacticos. Do we know what Yoro's injury is, by the way?
We can find out. Let's just give me 2 seconds. Premier League injuries. Premier League injuries, and we will find the injury news when it comes to, because there's a. Let's just share it and we can see it together. Johnny K is in the house, and by the way, while that page is loading, I just want to say hi to everybody tuning in. It's been a while. I see Johnny K is in the house. We have good old Neil Driscoll. I hope you're well. Routinator is back here. Big up Routinator, one of our moderators. What else do we have here? And Rusty Shackleford. Nice name. I love that name. Rusty. Wasn't that a name of Lampu Christmas? What's the name? Rusty. That's the name of Chevy Chase's boy.
Yeah, one of the kids. Yeah, Rusty was. Yeah.
and Broderick and Gavin Underwood and Faith and all of you legends, thank you for tuning in. I know when it comes to YouTube, they stop pushing us after being off the air for 1 week, but I know we have very loyal and great followers of the channel. So big thanks to all of you legends for tuning in.
Hjulmand Amorim comes in, says he's back on the 1st. So Yoro's not going to play them.
Okay.
Potentially, you would think.
There's a lot of pop-ups on this page, so I will do my best to try to cut them down. So Man United now, I don't know if you can see it. Let me try to enhance it a little bit. Can you see it now, Stu?
Yeah, drop it down. That's it.
Okay. It's doing its own thing. Okay,
It's doing its own
Martin
thing,
is
isn't
out
it?
knee injury. We know
Yeah,
that.
we know.
That's
Yeah,
Ahmad ankle foot
trial.
injury. Potential return date 25th of May. So he won't be
Okay,
back.
so out for the season then.
Luke Shaw, calf, shin, heel injury.
Out for
Potential
the
return
season.
10th of May. But as we read today, Center Devil said that he will probably most likely be back in training pretty soon. Kobbie Mainoo, potential return date 13th of
Okay, 13th of May. Okay.
yeah, but we know he's back in training.
Yes, we do.
So yeah, it's good. Lenny Euro, ankle
Yeah,
injury,
first
foot
of April.
injury, but he says potential return 1st of April. Yeah.
I can't imagine he'll play. It could be on the bench.
Yeah. Patrick Dorgu Larsson. I don't even know his name was Larsson, but yeah, okay. He's not injured. He played
No, he's back.
yesterday. So,
He's
so
back.
this is
He's back. Yeah,
ish.
he's back. He's back.
Harry Maguire, he's back. Aiden Heaven, ankle foot injury, potential no return date. But we know that he's walking. He's out of that.
He's back in training, isn't he?
Yeah. And by injury, he's no return date.
No.
And there's no other reason.
No.
So I don't know what his injury is again. And Johnny Evans, yeah, okay, forget about Johnny Evans.
Yeah,
He's
Johnny.
retiring anyway.
Yeah.
I read today that him and Tom Heaton actually are retiring after the season officially.
Well,
so how do you feel? Johnny Evans out?
Tom Heaton's milked us for how long? For 4 years, 30 grand a week or whatever, 40 grand a week. Thank you very much. Brilliant gig if you can get it. I think the best third choice goalkeeper is City's one, isn't it? Scott Carson.
He's good.
Yeah, well, he hasn't kicked a ball in anger. He's on about 50 grand a week, and he's officially or unofficially, he's got a treble to his name. Unbelievable!
I could do that job.
Yeah, we could all do that. Yeah.
Oh, it's good to see all the people back. So yeah, but it's a good thing. I don't know if will you miss Johnny? Good old Johnny.
If I was Johnny, I'd be looking to see if I could stay on in some capacity for coaching. I'd like to go, and if I was Johnny, I'd try and go and work with the under 8s, under 9s and 10s, and start my coaching career that way. Try and put something back to the club as a big thank you. Don't take a salary. Don't need to take a salary when you're looking at under 8s, 9s and 10s, because they're training maybe once or twice a week. And give something back to the club, give something back to the fans, and give something back to football in general. It's been very good to him. We know he's earning 80, 90 grand a week or even more. And he's played more football since he's come back over this 3 years than he thought he would play. He came back as a short kind of measure, and in some games he's been immense, and in some games he's not. But he's what, 37 years old, something along those lines. Barak gracefully. At the end of the day, well, of course, the other issue could well be that Lindelof starts on Tuesday. We've got that. Yes. We've got that potential, Jarvis. So
I'm not his biggest fan, but yeah, he's done okay since he came back. I'm not saying he's terrible, but
no, but I've got a bit of issue with injuries today. I mean, there was a channel, I think yesterday, come out and said that something we've been speaking about me in particular, Jarvis, have been speaking about for years. And that is a very well-known channel saying that football in the late 90s, early 2000s was more interesting, more worldies, more dribbles, more this, more that. And we're now having this newfangled way of playing football forced down our throats. I've been talking about it for years, Jarvis, as you know.
Yes.
It's nothing new. And injuries are the same, actually. When you look at the modern-day player, of modern-day injuries, although you had long-term injury-prone footballers in the 90s, in the 80s, and the 70s, it's nothing unheard of. There were players, though, that would come out and would play injured. They would really play injured. There was no mental conversations to be had about, oh, I felt something, I'm not going to do it, get on with it type thing. And football's moved away from that now. Football's moved into this wokest bracket where if a footballer feels something that isn't quite right, he won't take the pitch. And I'm just massively annoyed about that, Jarvis, if I'm being honest with you. I'm annoyed that Mason Mount can have bang his head and be out for 12 weeks when you bang your head, Jarvis, and you're back at work the following day. So am I. And so Mason Mount doesn't head the fucking ball, for fuck's sake. No. He doesn't head the ball, so it's not going to affect him. I'm annoyed that Luke Shaw has been out, for the last 3 years constantly. I'm annoyed with these players. I mean, Yoro's beginning to worry me.
Yeah.
He's been injured. More often than not this season. But he's a tall lad and he's growing. Now, a lot of that could be, is his physique and his metabolism, matures. He's getting issues with his injury. So we're picking up these injuries, but these players aren't coming back. They're just not coming back quickly.
Do you think it's a mental thing? Do you think they're just
hugely,
or is the level of just commitment is not there for the club?
It's hugely mental, and I think you've got agents now and people in and around them. Don't rush yourself back. Don't, you can't do it. And I just feel that half the players are milking it. And after, Mason Mount can come out and say he's frustrated. Well, so are we. I'm sure Amorim is. I'm sure everyone's frustrated. Yeah. But I don't know what we're doing as a club also to help it. A lot of the devilish tacticos I remember years ago when Ryan Giggs had hamstring injuries. They changed his car. Wasn't allowed to drive a Subaru Impreza because the clutch was too heavy for his hamstring. So they did, they changed his car. They investigated certain things. I'm just Terry Butcher all those years ago. I know it's not really a silly thing to compare him with. Terry Butcher, blood all the way down his shirt. Yeah, you have to change your shirt today, but he got a massive cut in his head, bandaged up, and carried on. We've had loads of players in the past that have done this, not to be hard men or anything like that, but they just don't. You don't come off a football field unless you can hardly fucking walk. Yeah. And I'm worried about our. We always talk about aggression actually within the game, don't we? And I can see why we're not aggressive, because we're not aggressive in getting over injuries and things of that nature. Look, I'm not saying I'm right, or anything like that. Shaker, I apologise. I haven't. I will do. I just haven't had a chance. Sorry. And I just feel that mentally we're weak. I've said this for a long time, Jarvis. I think mentally our players are weak. And we keep picking up these injuries, but we can't seem to get back. And when we do get back, we seem to break down again. And I just think maybe I'm wrong. But maybe some players look at it and maybe some players think, well, I can earn a shitload of money here for doing fuck all. It's almost as bad as, I've got to be honest, Jarvis, it's almost as bad as playing the stress card and going off work. You just can't, there's nothing you can do about it. And I think we're in a situation where there's nothing we can do about this. And I just... It worries me, Jarvis. I've got to be honest, pal. It worries me.
You are fully entitled to be honest, and
that
I think in a way, when you have a lot of injuries, it's contagious in the squad, and players who are feeling a little niggle, feeling a little injured. Why should they be out there every day and night and take the pressure and heat and lose games? And you see all these guys coming into the gym, having fun, relaxed, not under the intense pressure anymore. And you're like, maybe it just, I think this niggle is, I will take a couple of weeks with them in the physio's room. And I think it's a mental issue. And I'm not trying to play the hard man either, or trying to say
No,
that they
no, no.
are faking it in a way. I think that the injuries are real, but I think you can play through injuries, and I think you can push yourself more than people
I do.
feel
I mean,
they can.
Hjulmand Marine's talking about a pelvic injury. Look, absolutely right. You get a pelvic injury, it's a real problem. Your pelvis could be slightly out of line.
Yeah.
It could have slightly cracked or fractured very, very slightly hairline, and you just can't seem to. But if you can't get over your injuries, like Luke Shaw, just retire. Retire from
Yeah.
the game.
Yeah.
Fill up the squad space. You get your insurance. You do. You get your insurance as a player. You'll get some kind of payout. But modern day players don't need that payout because they've made all. And if you can't, Phil Jones. I know he's come out and he's been heartfelt about this and about that. You should have retired. If you can't get back, retire. Do something for the club. Say, thank you very much. I can't play anymore. Let me do something. And Luke Shaw, we haven't seen him for. When was the last time we saw Luke Shaw? Luke Shaw goes to the Euros.
Playing for England in the Euros. Yeah, I think that's last time.
Doesn't play to the final. Plays the final. We don't see him again at Manchester United. Comes in, plays half a game, and he's gone. Mason Mount, bless him, plays 20 minutes and he's gone. And then he puts up this. I don't want to see posts of this. I want to see what you're doing to get better. But Mark Yala's right. If your body is breaking down, and I was unfortunate enough to have a debilitating disease as well when I was 19, 20, and I got lucky. I did. I got lucky. There are people that don't get lucky, and the people that leave us because they don't get lucky. But I got lucky, and I maybe have a different viewpoint on it because I could have not been here. Simple as that. It really was that simple. So maybe I've got a different viewpoint on it.
Yeah.
I grew up in a different era, Jarvis. I grew up in an era where there was no fucks given by anybody. Nobody.
No fucks given. Yeah, that's nice. I saw a short today of Puyol. You remember the centre back of Barcelona, and he was the captain. And there was a couple of things. There was one of the crowd who threw a lighter on the other centre back. What's his name? Not Busquets, but the guy who played for Man United. Remember his name? The centre back.
Which one was that? Sorry.
The centre back who played for Barcelona. The guy who played for Man United.
Oh God, yeah, he's married Shakira, didn't he? What's his name?
Yes.
PK.
Yes.
PK.
Yeah. So one of the crowds threw a lighter on PK, and PK takes it up in shock and want to show everybody, to the referee. And Puyol just comes to him, pushes him, take the lighter off, throws it at the stands again, and talks to him. Focus on the game.
Yeah.
Go back to business.
Yeah.
And again, Barcelona scores a goal, and you see Dani Alves and some guys just standing there dancing in front of the crowd. And Puyol just comes there, grabs them both by the neck, go back there, play football. So they're only focused on football. And the best thing was that the third thing of that clip was Puyol is in an argument with an opposition guy, and the opposition guy slaps him over the face. Not a hard slap, but it's just a small slap.
Yeah.
And the other Barca player comes running through, and Puyol just pushes them away because he's not there to do anything else than play football. So I like that attitude. I love that kind of attitude, and I think football has changed, in a way. In the 80s, you're not allowed to dive in football. If you dived, you would be frowned upon by all the other players on the pitch. So it has gradually changed into this soft thing. I'm not a hard man anymore, but I think we have lost a little bit of what the game is all about.
Yeah, I mean, we're never gonna. People will never agree on what we're talking about here. There are people, in the Devilish Tacticos comments that take the money. I totally agree. I've got lightning's right. There are people that were just going, "I'll take the money." Fair enough. Go ahead and do it. Winston Boharder did that famously for Chelsea, didn't he?
Yes.
It was only 40 grand a week. Never saw the light of the first team. He was a brilliant footballer till he went to Chelsea. Got this big contract. Thought, fuck it, I'm going to train with a 23. So lightning's right, go ahead and do it. But the problem with back in the 80s is you could easily break your ankle on the pitches back then. They were that bad. Old Trafford itself was abysmal. Neil Driscoll will tell you, he would go into Old Trafford. There'd be no fucking grass on the pitch. It'd have been rolled out. It was virtually no grass. It was, and then it would cut up after 5 minutes, and players are doing this and fucking turning their ankles and falling over, going smack into hard turf rather than the grass pitches they're on today. The balls were heavy. You get smacked in the face with a football back then. Your fucking nose would burst, or whatever. But that's how it was back there. And modern day football, you've got the lightest, most aerodynamic footballs. You got the best grass on the planet. You got this beautiful pitches. They've got great kits. They've got great changing rooms. The lightest football boots. They've got everything to be the very, very best they can be, until somebody breathes past them and then they fall over crying. That I can't cope with. I don't like it. And to me, it doesn't matter. I'm actually not having a go at all these players. I'm just saying, you need to get up and you need to say, you've got to take your responsibility for yourself as a footballer, just to get on that fucking pitch and want to play and want to win. So it's very, very, very difficult, But, Manchester United aren't the only ones, are they?
No. It's just how football has become. And yeah, we can't change it, but I have my opinion on it. So, yeah, well, it was a good topic, good conversation. Boxing Straight Talk is in the house. Big up, Jarvis, too. And big up. And he comes in and say, I just watched England versus Latvia. I nearly fell asleep. Yeah. That's why I wasn't even bothered watching the game. I don't know. Did Rashford play well?
I know Harry Kane scored again, didn't he? Crikey. Reece James scored, so it must have been bad.
Oh, okay.
Yusuf's in the house as well. Big up, Yusuf.
Big up, Yusuf. Good to have you back in the Tactical Devils, what do you call it, zone. No, the next topic I want to talk about, because when we talked before we went on a tantrum or
Rashford,
whatever you want to call it. Okay, it was meh. Okay.
Yeah, meh.
Victor Lindelof came out today, Center Devils, on his contract. I'm very comfortable in Man United. I've been here for a long time, and it's the world's best league. So I have to talk to everyone involved going forward. So I can read what I read out of this is my interpretation. I think he talks like he wants to stay.
Well, the club has got to turn around and say thanks, Victor, but sorry, you're gone.
Is it because of injuries or abilities or a little bit of both?
You can't any longer turn around to Manchester United and say, I'm staying and I don't care what you do about it. You've got to go. And the club has got to turn around and say, you've got to go. You've got to do Sir Alex Ferguson, Paul Ince. Ince playing golf. Sir Alex is in the car park. He wants to see you. Oh, okay. Walks into his car, sits down. We sold you to Inter Milan. See you later. That's it. The end. We've got to get back to that fucking time where these players, where these players, I'm sorry, you're gone. We can't accommodate you any longer in this squad. Not for what we want to do. Your contract's expired. You won't be offered a new one. Find a club.
Yeah.
Mr. Eriksson, find the club.
Wouldn't be
Harry Maguire to an extent. Please find a club. we've got to do. You have to do this. We've got to do it. Go home back to Sweden. You've earned your money. Go back to Sweden. You have to do a job. We can't keep. Oh well, yeah, okay then. We'll keep it. I mean, there was talk, by the way, with Harry Maguire. I think that we're going to extend his contract, or we have extended his contract, something along those lines. But the issue for me is these players cannot control what they do. We have to control what we do as a football club. They're doing it everywhere else in the club, aren't they? They're making changes. They're upping the season ticket price. They're doing this. They're doing that. Victor, thank you. You're gone.
I totally agree, and I think the Devilish Tacticos also agree. I see Welsh Girl coming in. Big up, Welsh Girl. Good to see you.
Big up, Welsh Girl. I haven't seen you for a while.
No, we haven't seen you for a while, but you haven't seen us for a while. We've been off the grid for 1 week, but it's good to have a break. I'm not sitting here forcing content and rating other content creators or whatever. It's not my thing. It's up to them to keep you entertained, but I will talk about football as much as I can. And when there's nothing to talk about, I won't do it. Just the way it is. So you can gladly put on that bell notification because I won't spam you with BS.
No, we don't. We don't do that, do we, Jarvis? We 18 likes, by the way, if you could.
Please smash the like if you haven't. Boxing Straight Talk comes in and say pointless keeping Lindelof. He's not brave enough, and I think so too. I agree. And Hjulmand comes in and say very interesting since I have heard that he was off Benfica. Oh,
okay.
We probably have some suitors. He's not a bad centre back, but he's not good enough for our level. That's just the way. And Sheikh Aryan comes in with this. I don't know. it's on your account, not mine. Neil Driscoll comes in and say, I played football in the 1980s. Yeah.
Terrible. You would seriously back in the 80s, you break your ankle, Jarvis, if you're running down. Oh no, your ankle's turned over. Jesus, because you're actually sliding down a hill with the pitches you were playing on. Terrible. 6 shooters as well.
I used to play on gravel.
Yeah.
If you fell over, your knees were full of sand and small rocks.
Yeah. Back in the 80s, mainly because you couldn't afford 2 pairs of football boots, you were just wearing 6 shooters. Just 6 studs on any kind of, Neil will tell you, on any kind of turf, whether it was hard turf or whether it wasn't AstroTurf really in the 80s. Late 80s there was. Luton Town was the first, I believe, to have it in the UK.
Yes.
And we got beat there once.
What's the name of that Danish striker who played there? The Luton striker. They have one guy who was quite good. A Danish guy. Someone may know. Yeah.
Hjulmand Mainoo, for sure.
88, 89, 90, around that era. He was, I think he was their best player. But doesn't matter. I used to play on AstroTurf, but it's not the same type that you have today. Artificial grass.
The original AstroTurf.
The old one, the thin green rug.
Oh, I'd rip it to shreds, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And it was dry as Sahara, the desert.
Oh, I tear you to shreds.
Yeah. That was something else. And then Jarle comes in and say, gravel watch the pitches in Norway. Yes.
You played where you could, though, didn't you, back in the 80s?
You did.
You played where you could.
Gravel, AstroTurf. And in July, we played on grass, green grass. End of June, July, August.
Yeah.
And then we weren't allowed to use the grass pitches anymore because the groundskeeper didn't allow us.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we had that as well. Yeah. Absolutely terrible. We would go down and try and find a pitch that got nets up, and then we'd go and play, and then we'd be kicked off. But we had a small patch of grass just behind a field where we used to live when we were growing up, when we were about 8, 9 or 10. And we had to get our parents to get the council to put some small, cheap 5-a-side goals in for us. And we didn't have a pitch, so we used to Neil, I love this. We used to steal white emulsion paint from our parents, all of us, and some paintbrushes, and we'd go up and we literally marked out our own pitch with white emulsion paint, which killed the grass, obviously.
Yes.
But that's what we had to do. We didn't have any other pitches around us, so that's how we did it. So oh dear.
Yeah.
But we never played on gravel pitches, so
never. You should try it. It's interesting because the ball goes like this.
Oh, I bet it's all over the place, isn't it? Yeah. So the ball's coming down and you're waiting for it to come down. You've picked your trapping point and suddenly it just pings off a little stone, wouldn't it? Surely.
Yes.
Yeah, crikey. No, we never had that. Sorry.
And the Jarvis cow shit pitch I played. Cow shit pitch.
Here you go. Look, the Vutinator. In the mid-70s, we played with anything round. No football, no tennis ball, no golf ball. The marbles it was. Yeah, you did. You did. You kick absolutely anything around a can. The amount of times you used to kick cans around when we were kids got told off. And you get called in for tea by your mum. Tea time.
Remember, Stu, when you went to the local pitch or whatever, and you didn't have to bring a ball, so you found in the corner of the pitch, you found like a deflated old ball, no air in it, and you can just play with that for like half a minute, half an hour.
You do absolutely to play football. You do anything, wouldn't you? And but the balls at the time, I mean, the old we used to call them Casey balls. Neil and the Vutinator would tell you that we used to call them Casey balls, and if you didn't dub in them, the black and the white, they used to be black and white hexagons. They would just it would be horrible. Your ball would be new for about a week, then after a week it'd be all cracking and it'd be everywhere. But it was your ball. You used to carry it around under your arm. It was your ball.
It's my ball.
I know it's my ball. I'm going home. You're not picked. It's my ball.
I'm going home.
I am picked. It's my ball. Otherwise, I'm going home.
He had all the power.
Yeah. Vutinator says, what does he say? Vutinator says, cans too noisy. Got told off many a time. Yeah, exactly right. Oh dear, I tell you, the good old days. Yeah, but this is the thing, you see. The younger players, they've never experienced what it's like to run home from school, not even say hello to your parents, go straight upstairs and put your footy kit on and go back outside and play with your mates up at the top of your cul-de-sac or wherever until you get called in for tea. They don't experience that. They get in the car now and they're driven to either a development squad or an academy squad, or they go on trials for developments and things, and they've got this certain way of playing, Jarvis. And I think a lot of the kids have just completely missed out on what it's like to actually develop yourself as a footballer, because they're now being developed by coaches. Me and you, Vutinator, Neil, Boxing Straight Talk, and everyone else in the chat, Hjulmand, Amorim, we all developed our own selves as footballers, and there's something special about having developed you and honed in your own skills. I think, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. And the thing is, you didn't train football; you played football. I was watching a game and I couldn't wait. I ran out at halftime just to kick the ball for 10 minutes. Because I was like buzzing after watching 45 minutes of football. So I was, and even coming late. So I missed the first 10 minutes of the second half because I was so into football. I remember I watched Maradona play in '86. It was the Mexico World Cup, and in halftime I ran out, played the ball, kicked it into the garage door, and it was so. And I was Maradona at that time. For 10 minutes, and that was how it was.
Kempes for me. Mario Kempes, 78. You got this flowing long hair. You got that beautiful Argentina kit. You got the tango football.
Are you saying you had the flowing long hair at the 80s too, or the 70s?
70s, yeah. Kempes had this.
No, did you?
No, not really. No, mum and dad wouldn't let me have it. Although I did want my hair like Morton Harkett once, and my dad laughed at me. He said, "Morton, who's he?" I showed him a picture. I won't say what he said, but I showed him a picture. Mustard's come in. He said, "In Canada, winters youngster used to bring a hockey stick with you wherever you go." Yeah, absolutely. That's obviously. And a game of shiny. I don't know what shinny. I presume that's just two people having with pucks. Could happen at any moment. That's mint. Forgive me if I don't know what a shinny is. I'm sorry, the mustard. And here we go. Play it till dark. Could hardly see the ball, even though they were white. Great times growing up. Absolutely, yes. We kind of miss all of that. And Loudmouth Football says most level-headed analysis on this channel. I enjoy your content, Jarvis. Thank you.
Thank you, Loudmouth Football. You know, it means a lot. This is what I want. I want us to talk about the real football.
He's got it. Elstrup.
Yes, Lars Elstrup is the guy. Elstrup, yes.
Elstrup.
I think he's quite a goals pollutant in the old Premier League.
Hjulmand playing football from 7 in the morning to 11 at night, hearing your mum yell you to come home and eat dinner. That was cold. I'm not coming. Can I have another 10 minutes, Mum? No, you can't. Get in now before your dinner gets cold. Brilliant. Absolutely great times.
So great.
And boxing straight talk, playing over the field with mates. I'm Eric Cantona. There you go. At the get that up. Yeah, he did. He put out his chest, didn't he, Eric?
Yes.
Walking like that.
He was
I was more. Yeah, my era is more Robson. The Vutanate remembers 78. Ticker tape, exactly. Kempes and Luque. Oh, Luque, I forgot about Luque. Luque was brilliant as well. But the ticker tape used to come down, used to think it was a world apart. Well, it was a world apart. It was in Argentina. But you used to be in awe of it. Spain 82 after that as well. Crikey.
I remember Euros 88. That was a brilliant tournament.
Oh, you're talking about
I remember the first game Ireland played against Britain, and they won 1-0.
1-0,
Liverpool player. What's his name?
Ronnie Whelan. Oh no, Ronnie Whelan scored. I think Houghton scored again.
Houghton.
No, Ray Houghton.
Or was it John Aldridge?
There's Aldridge. Ray Houghton scored a brilliant goal.
Yeah, Ray Houghton. I think he scored against England.
I thought it was Ronnie Whelan, but I thought it was Ronnie Whelan.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
No, I'm probably wrong, actually. You've got better knowledge than me. The lads will tell us, and the girls in the chat. But Ray Houghton in the USA 94 scored a kind of a lob goal, didn't he, against Italy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they won that game, 1-0.
They won that game. They beat Italy, yeah.
Group of death. Norway was in that group. All 4 teams ended on 4 points. Yes. Norway 1-1 goal difference. Mexico 2-2 goal difference. Ireland 2-2 goal difference. And the winner was Italy with 3-3 goal difference, I believe. So Norway 4 points out.
I know, group of death. But you don't see those groups of death anymore, do you? You know, those real solid groups of death. And I think that's why us and everyone else in the chat has a problem with international football, because it just isn't there anymore. It's not that real. No. You don't get that excitement anymore. Do you remember, you talk about 88, right? You talk about the great Dutch team.
Marco van Basten in the final, the volley shot.
Yeah,
from that angle.
You've got Van Basten, right card. You know, you've got these great players.
Van Breukelen.
They got that brilliant kit as well. And the Germany side, you got Rudi Völler in there, and Klinsmann, Mateus, Zama, you know, all these great players. And you just get really, really excited. I think Effenberg was playing back in the day, wasn't he? And that was the real pretense to the class of Bayern Munich and how good Bayern Munich were at the time. And then 10 years later, 11 years later, Manchester United come along and upset Mr. Effenberg and Mateus and, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And
Mario Basler,
yeah. People actually, he got the opening goal, didn't he, with that free kick? Basler in the final. But people actually, you remember these World Cups. You actually remember how brilliant America 94 was. how hot it was, and the goals, the size of the netting, what kind of football are you going to use, that type of thing. Mexico 86, with Maradona and his brilliance and his absolute peak.
Mexico 86 must be the best World Cup in men's.
Yeah,
so because all of those good teams, you had the France team with Platini and all of them, Rocheteau, and all of these guys. Yeah, you have the great Italian team, but you had the Brazilian team, Socrates,
very good. Falcao, Zico.
The Belgium team, Enzo Chico, all of these. The Russian team, they had the Igor Milano. The USSR, and so many good teams. Mexico at home, Negrete when he scored that volley shot.
Negrete! Yes. So I think it was American 94, wasn't it? I can't remember the Russian player's name. He scored 5, didn't he?
Yes, in one game.
Yes, one of the devilish tacticos can remind us who the Russian player who scored 5.
Oleg Salenko.
It was Salenko. It was Salenko, yeah. Yes. I remember his goals, they were terrible as well, weren't they? He just, after he'd scored, Salenko. Oh, dear. But of course, one of the greatest, the World Cup always threw you this player, didn't it? You never used to expect, and...
but I think a lot of people, when I speak to a lot of other pundits, people who do YouTube, they're a little bit younger than me. So Italia 1990 were their highlight when it comes to football. With the Cameroon.
Remember Paolo Rossi from 82?
82, yes.
Brilliant striker. And then Scalacci, he would have been...
Who was the guy who scored, the Italian guy? Altobelli.
Altobelli, yes. Altobelli.
When he scored, the passion, the Italian passion.
Yeah, Altobelli was brilliant. Don't forget though, Platini was playing in 82 for the French, wasn't he? Battistani was battered by Schumacher, the German goalkeeper, wasn't he? Absolutely took his head clean off. I think it was Battistani, yeah. So all this, as the Vutinator said, 82 was absolutely brilliant. Baggio was it France 98, Baggio, Trev? Sorry, boxing straight talk. You'll have to let me know. I can't quite remember.
Baggio,
and then you've got, and then don't forget you got the great Toto Scalacci. He came from nowhere. Absolutely.
Yeah, in 1990. Yeah, I remember. That was a good tournament. But for me, always a World Cup of '86 was the best. That's probably because it was the first that I remember.
That's why I remember '78, Jarvis. That's why I remember Kempes Luke. I remember. I remember the Argentina kit. I fell in love with the actual kit itself. It was amazing. It was just brilliant to me. Absolutely brilliant to me.
I think we need to go back to Man United stuff, but this
I think we should go back to playing football.
I hope we brought you back on memory lane. World Cup football, all the big memories. But we can talk more about this on a later occasion. Maybe we can do some clips, analyze the play from the old days.
Yeah, lovely. We should do that one day. We should do that. Yeah. We should pick a game, an old Manchester United game, try and find it, and then analyze some clips of that in the day. It'd be absolutely brilliant. That would be. Would you like to see that, Devilish Tacticos? I'll tell you what. If you would like to see me and Jarvis analyse a specific Manchester United game from maybe the 90s, 80s, early 2000s, let us know what you'd like. Me and Jarvis will choose it, and then we'll do an analysis for you.
Brilliant. That was a fantastic idea. So anyone, other YouTube contenters watching, don't pinch our idea, please. Let us have this.
It's our idea. You're already pinching our analysis ideas. Leave us alone for this one, please.
Okay.
I think we'd have to put the old Barry Davis accent on if we can do that, or the John Motson accent.
Yes.
No, British commentators. I don't know what the commentators are like in Norway.
We have some legends. The biggest of them all is called Arne Skeie, but you wouldn't even know. But the Jarle knows. Jarle know.
Yeah, Jarle will know. Jarle says any away game or any game Any away game, I think he's saying, where United trash Arsenal. Champions League final 99 from Trev. Yeah.
I can actually do that. I've seen that so many times. So yeah.
Tonight is talking about the dentist chair, so that would have been Euro 96. Gaza scores against Scotland. Jarvis scores against Scotland. They were
the one that really lobs it over and takes it. Yeah.
So they were out. I think it must have been in the pre-tournament, and they were drinking in a dentist chair. So you sit down in this chair and you get beer and spirits and that poured down your mouth. So when he scored the goal, he went to the side of the goal, picked up a juice bottle, threw it to one of the lads, and then went like that, and so they could spray it into him. So he was doing a celebration like the dentist chair. I'd forgotten about that celebration. Absolutely brilliant. There's been some brilliant celebrations. We'll do another show on that. Celebrations. Tell us your best celebrations. We'll do another show on that. So, Thomas, we better carry on, dude.
Yes. Let's just move on swiftly to the next
questions. Look at this question here. It's a great question. Now,
which would you prefer?
So Rooney with Tevez or Berbatov with Van Persie? For me, I think Berbatov and Van Persie was great, but Rooney and Tevez and Ronaldo, greatest front three I think the Premier League's ever seen, in my humble opinion. But the most single best striker, Ruben Amorim.
Yeah, without
it's
doubt.
A very good question, that is, live match football. Very good question.
Berbatov, he's so slick, perfect technique, always good in timing and balance. Van Persie, I don't know. But I think out of those two, if they played against together, I think the Rooney-Tevez combination would be better.
Tevez is a great player.
Because it's about hard work. Yeah. Rooney and Tevez, boom, 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 boom. I think it must be terrible playing against them.
Where's the Tevez type player gone today? Where is he? Does he exist anymore?
The hardworking.
I've got you stumped, haven't I?
Yeah.
Does he exist like Tevez? Does he exist like Tevez anymore? I don't think there is. He's right. He's right. Boxing straight talk. Roberto Baggio, 94. Italy, Brazil final. He had that stupid ponytail, didn't he? Do you remember the penalty miss?
Yes.
Sorry, I've loved it. Sorry, I know. I'm sorry.
It was high and wide, the terrible penalty. Yeah.
It was terrible. Sorry, guys. We will get back to it. But I've really enjoyed tonight, Jarvis.
No.
DJ Superfly guys in the house, by the way.
Big up, DJ Superfly guys.
Yuri. Right, sorry.
Let's go back to Man United. So this came out, United District, that he could end up in Saudi. There's been some rumors, some reports about Onana ending up in Saudi Arabia. So what do you think? Is there a possibility?
Well, I can understand.
Or is this the club leaking?
No, I can understand the logic on it because you're going to get the money that you require for Onana to transfer. You don't get the money that we would require anywhere else. So Saudi Arabia would be a logical move. But once you've made that,
but he's not more. I think he's on 130k, maybe.
No, I'm talking about the 50 million. We'll probably get out of Saudi Arabia. We're not going to get anywhere else. So you're going to get the transfer fee. So that kind of then suggests: do we go for Oblak? Can we get Oblak in for 50 mil? Or whoever?
That would be
it's an agent thing, isn't it? He's either the same agent. Yeah, I remember reading that. Or do we, can we get Sells in? Can we get the keeper that the Sheikh's speaking about? Can we get these types of keepers in? So it's all right selling them, but can you get the right goalkeeper in? Maybe he's had enough himself, Onana. Could be that he's had enough. He's appointed this agent for that particular reason, maybe, and he's decided Saudi Arabia is good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I would imagine most of us would be quite happy with Onana leaving. But you've got to get the right keeper in, Jarvis, as you know.
But the question here is, how much would you ask for Andre Onana? I think we bought
gotta
him
get
for
50
about
mil.
50 mil.
You got to get 50.
We have to sell him for
Yeah, you got
about
to get
30.
50 back.
So
And I
10
think-
million amortization for 2 seasons. So 30 to go even about.
I think Saudi Arabia is the only place you're going to get that money.
Yeah. But don't you think, like Italy, he did well when he played at Inter? So
They're not going to pay the money.
no.
It's clubs that will pay the money, and I think Saudi Arabia will pay the money.
So the question to the devilish tacticos from me: would you like to sell Onana? Yes or no? Just give me a simple, quick answer. I don't want to make a poll. Just say your sell. Yes, or no. I suspect you would like to sell him. If it was up to me, I would sell him straight away.
If you donate straight in, sell. I'd sell.
Yeah.
I would sell off rent.
There's been another interesting rumor this last couple of days, and this is a player I was quite interested in. I just want to say what people say here. Muhammad Ali, yes. Gavin Underwood, yes.
Gavin, good to see you, mate.
Boxing Straight Talk, sell him, Jarvis.
Yes. Sell, Trev. Sell. Everyone's saying sell. Yeah, sell.
Yeah, no one wants Onana anymore.
No, everyone's saying sell him.
Yeah. So the next interesting rumor.
Later, but I do love that question. I like questions like that. Who would you choose? 3 footballers out of any generation on your table. What a great question. Well, we know one of Jarvis is already, so he's only got 2 left to pick.
Yes. Unfortunately, he's not alive anymore, but Maradona, yes.
Oh, I know. Straight away. I knew it would be yeah.
But would I pick the best player of all times, or would I pick the most interesting? Like, don't you think like Paul Gascoigne would have been super interesting having with your dinner table?
I agree.
So yeah, Stu, you have to give me your candidates. You don't need all 3, but at least give me one.
So I would pick Paul Gascoigne for sure, because and I would like to know from him, why did you allow morons to take you out on the weekend and fill you full of beer when you were at that particular time probably the world's best footballer, or close to, from an English standpoint, being the world's best footballer? So Gascoigne for one. I've been lucky enough to meet some absolutely great players, but I'd love to have really met a very young Duncan Edwards, because I'd love to have known what his vision for football was and what his appetite for the game was. I never got to see him play, by the way, Devilish Tacticos, but I've always been fascinated by him as an individual.
Yeah.
And the third one would be, and he's not a footballer, but I'm gonna give you a curveball here. He's not a footballer. Jack the Ripper. I'd love to have Jack the Ripper around the table, because I'd love to know who he was and how he got away with it. Not that I want to do that, but I've been fascinated by him, because I think if you were to pick 3 people around your dining table, that you've got to be fascinated by them, not in awe of them, fascinated. And I know you're fascinated by Maradona. That's that you have a fascination with him. You understand him as a footballer, but you've got a fascination with his brain, haven't you? What turned the greatest footballer probably ever? You know, it's a tough one with Pele, isn't it? What made him snort the coke and and all that?
Well, for me, if I had Maradona with the table, I would ask him a lot of what really happened, what went on, because we went to Italy, he was involved with the mob, all this thing, the pressure, and he was like one of the Beatles at that moment. People were hysterical when Maradona was around, and all the other players hated him because he was levels above, and the only way they could stop him was just to tackle him, take him out. But he just kept standing up. What was his motivation?
It was hard, wasn't he? It was hard. He was built big, small, stocky, built big.
Yeah. But so Maradona for me, but I see a lot of good. Hjulmand comes in, Maradona, Matthäus, and
Yeah,
Gullit.
great three.
Yeah.
Neil's coming with a brilliant suggestion.
Ooh. 1971.
He was 14. Neil was 14. That's a great suggestion, Neil, that is.
Well, would you be able to get that game? Or you need to like get an old VHS?
You would have to scan YouTube for it, I think.
Yeah. I think that would be difficult, but it will be probably games from the 80s will also be difficult. But
YouTube, I mean, you could get. I think in YouTube, I think the 79 FA Cup final, Manchester United Liverpool, 2 legs. I think that's on there. There's some absolutely brilliant ones that we can really analyse. Keep them coming in, guys. That's a great because it might be, Jarvis, that we make a note of 4 or 5, and we do them over a period of time. So keep getting the suggestions in, and we'll do more than just the one. Trevor Wade. Trevor Wade says, Jack the Ripper, now I know why you are the way you are, Stu. He just fascinates me, guys. I've got no. Neil Driscoll, his hero is George Best. I've got no.
Yes, George Best. I think he would be lively at the table.
And Alien Tenno, again, I've got no problem with, Robson. I loved him.
Yes.
Yeah, loved him.
So back to the goalkeeper thingy, because I opened up and say sell Onana, but now we heard that we are linked to this guy again, James Trafford.
No chance. He's City youngster, isn't he?
I don't know how old he is. 23, maybe 24.
Is he City youngster? Well, they sold him in 20. So they sold him to Burnley. I thought he was still on City's books. Well, good keeper, but I rate Sells better. Forest's keeper better.
Yeah, but he would be impossible to buy, I believe. Don't you think? He will be too expensive, or
A, he'll be too expensive, and B, I can't see him coming to us, even though he's gone to Burnley. He's an old City player, wasn't he? I don't see it. I think there's better out there. He's a very good keeper, by the way, though. A very good keeper.
Yes. I think I would take him, actually. I would. If he was an option, I would take him.
First team?
Yeah. If we could sell Onana and bring in one goalkeeper, I would be okay with that. I wouldn't be hysterical. I think it was a good option. And but maybe United is too big of a club for him.
Yeah, I think so. City are all out for Costa. I've heard that as well. Yeah.
Okay, so 50 million. Okay, it's too much.
Yeah, it's too much.
Then you might as well try to go for Oblak.
You've got to go for Oblak, haven't you? But he's not going to leave Alzeti. But you've got to go for Oblak.
Yeah.
I agree.
Someone in that bracket. But this interesting rumor came out this weekend.
We've
been linked to him before, and I see again now. I feel a lot of like British press, a lot of people do instant reaction. People are laughing of Sean Longstaff. But for me, I think he's a good player. I like his technique, and it reminds me a little bit of how people reacted to Sander Berge. They don't see the footballer; they see what they want to see. They see a long guy, a little bit clumsy, not a fancy name. But I think there's a footballer in there.
So I wasn't. So you're absolutely right. I've kind of dismissed it. I kind of agree with you on the Sander Berge thing, absolutely. But
he's the best DM in Premier League this season.
I saw a lot more about Sander Berge. I saw a lot more about Sander Berge at Sheffield United than look. Longstaff is a decent footballer, and to be honest, you're not going to get in above Tonali, Joe Linton, and Guimaraes at Newcastle. It's not going to happen. It doesn't matter who you are. It just isn't going to happen. Those three are a superb trio. Let's be clear about that.
They are. Yeah.
He needs to move for his own career. I totally agree. And would he fit in with us? Yeah, I think he probably would. But we've got to try and get him on a free, Jarvis, or tiny money.
I think he has 1 year left on his contract.
Yeah, so you get him for nothing then, 5 mil.
But he's a Geordie, isn't he? Newcastle boy.
He's a Geordie through and through. But
Yeah.
the thing is, you know, I think he'd be better suited at Aston Villa, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I think Aston Villa or Forest would be a much better location for him. But look, I've got no issue. We've been linked with him for a few years now.
Yes.
A long time we've been linked with him.
Under Ollie.
Yeah, we've been linked with him a long time.
And I did some research on him back then, and he passed my my test and the eye test to be fair, because he's very effective on the ball. He's not flashy, doesn't do any tricks and flicks, but you know, he, in a way, sometimes, and I'm not comparing him to what's his name, the Barcelona beautiful midfielder Busquets. I'm not comparing him to Busquets.
No, I know what you mean.
The way he uses his technique, it's in the same elegant way. You know, if he removes the ball, he scouts over his shoulder, just flicks it with his heel and turns. You know, it's not about trying to do difficult stuff. And I like people who are effective, players who are what's the name? Doing it simple.
Yeah, he's an accomplished footballer. Sean Longstaff's what I call an economical player.
Yes, economical player. Yes,
he doesn't give the ball away too much. He's very simple, and people don't like simple. He doesn't pass the eye test if he's simple. Sander Berge, simple. He doesn't pass the eye test. Now people are starting to look after him. Look at Paulinho. I know he's injured, but not really playing that much at. So that's where I would go to Bayern Munich, Jarvis. I know he's 29. But I would go for Paulinho. Or try and knock on and go for Sander Berge. Why not? Chance you're on.
I think that ship has sailed, to be honest.
I
think we had a chance, but we were bargaining for 5 million. We could have got him for 25.
You like the Danish midfielder, don't you, from Sporting?
Yes, without a doubt. Morten Hjulmand is my type. I think we need him. And I saw the game yesterday with Denmark against Portugal, and actually he kept Bruno on a string. I think it was beautiful.
It's interesting.
Yeah. And Bruno, you know, he started the game out as a playmaker, as we have seen him now the last couple of games, taking his time on the ball, being effective, a little bit elegant. But Morten Hjulmand didn't give him a time. Every time Bruno tried anything, Morten Hjulmand was there. Boom. And he took the ball away from him. And he didn't just tackle it away. He took the ball with him and did something with it. So I would, if it was possible, I would go for Morten Hjulmand.
You might get him for decent money as well.
Yeah. And he's an old Amorim student.
Yeah, exactly. So it'd be interesting. I'm quite, for the first time in a while, I think I'm actually excited for the summer transfer. I think we're going to surprise. I think we're going to surprise our fan base. You know,
but when you say surprise, what do you mean?
I think we're going to be more geared up than what you feared. I remember 6 weeks ago, the old mate Jarvis turned around and said, "No, nobody's coming through the door July 1st. They're going to be coming through the door the end of August." I could well be right. I think the bulk of what he wants will be in situ by the 1st of July. I sense something. I think this stadium announcement is quite pivotal for our, not just for the future of the club, but the way that we are going to have to generate cash to be able to still function as a football club. And the only way to do that is by winning on the pitch. And I think I just, there's something inside of me that says we may have a better summer than we're all fearing right now.
Yes.
Longstaff is an Aldi version of myself. I'm sorry, Trav. I do quite like that. It's quite witty. You've obviously Googled, can I make a joke out of Sean Longstaff and McTominay? Clearly. It's a very good one, Trev. I do like that one.
Yeah. So, talking about midfielders now, we have a guy coming back from injury. We haven't mentioned him, but I will bring it up here. So, both Kobbie Mainoo and Harry Maguire has returned to grass training this morning. And they have done well in their rehab work in recent weeks, and the fitness level have improved. So, Kobbie Mainoo is back.
Yeah, do you know what? I think
How do
Amorim
you
will be
feel about
looking.
it?
Yeah, Trev, thanks. I'm here all week. I think Forest is too early for him. Kobbie.
Mm-hmm.
I think Amorim's got a real decision to make in terms of what three he puts out, or two that he puts in, the 2 6s, one for the better words. I think he'll be looking at what Forest can do penetration wise through the middle. And I think he'll definitely 100% tuck the wing backs in, Dorgu and Dalot.
But it's a brilliant question here from Yala.
Well, this is where my dilemma is.
Where does it fit?
Yeah, he's almost beat me to it, Yala, and this is why Yala's brilliant, because he kind of it's as if he knows what I'm thinking sometimes. That was going to be my next thing. So I was leaning towards, I think it's too early, because I didn't quite want to say where does he fit. That's why I was leaning towards, I think it's too early. And I agree with Yala. Right now, in this system that he's got, Amorim, and the way that the players are trying to mould themselves to this system, where do you play him? Now, you're going to raise a question in a minute, and I think you should raise that question now. About the two we were talking about in the green room.
Yes, we will come to that. I just want to delve a little bit more with Mainoo, and we can go.
Well,
to
I think it's quite. Yeah. Well, I actually think it's quite pertinent you bring it up, because I think it all twines, and I'd love to know what the devilish tactico is thinking. I think Hjulmand has asked the question we didn't want to ask, Jarvis.
Yes, where does it fit? Because now, in the next game against Forest, my question to you guys: who should be starting next to Bruno Fernandes? Is it Casemiro or Ugarte? Who would you prefer? Devilish tacticals. And I would start with you, Stu Woolley. Tell me. No sitting on the fence. You have to choose one.
Ugarte.
Okay.
Reason?
Please.
And it is I don't smoke, by the way. It's a cigarette paper width. He's more mobile. He's got a bit more aggressive. And I think he'd be fitter.
Did any of them go to international duty? Ugarte's been traveling to Uruguay.
Yeah, he's traveling. Yeah, but don't forget we don't play till Tuesday night.
No.
A really good question. Is it close? Is it even close? The only reason I was hesitant, Vutanaker, is Casemiro's put in some mighty fine performances recently in his ball playing ability, not specifically his speed or his movement around the pitch. And he's dropped the ball a couple of times. You're absolutely right. I know you're going to pick me up on it, but you'd be right tactically. And me and Jarvis kind of disagreed on whose goal was it, Jarvis? I thought it was Eriksen's issue. You thought it was Casemiro's issue.
Yeah, well, that was a difficult one.
Anyway, it was a difficult one. But we looked at it. And he has been caught recently positionally, but he's been very effective on the same time. But I just think Ugarte just gives us a little bit more freshness, speed, and a little bit of aggression, which I think we'll need at Forest.
Okay.
That's why I thought it was close to Vutinator, but it's just my opinion. Jarvis, I'm going to push you for an answer now.
Before I give you my answer, I'm going to tell you what
What's everybody
are
saying?
saying, because Ugarte all day from the Vutinator. Peter comes in, Alien Tenno, say Ugarte. DJ Superfly, Ugarte. Trevor Wade, yeah, he said.
It's
good. Yeah. So, but it's a difficult one.
Casemiro.
Casemiro is clear. Okay, yeah, that's interesting. So it's not. Yeah. I would say I will give you my 2 pence.
Again, he's not wrong here. I agree about the steal, which is why I went for Ugarte. But I think he's done all right. The Vutinator just recently. That's all.
I will give you my 2 pence, and that's I think at the moment.
Just before you do, it's it's gone either way. It's gone either way. Sorry, Jarvis.
I think all in all, I think Ugarte is a better footballer because he's more mobile and he suits us better. However, at the moment, I think Casemiro is the player in form. And we know Casemiro has class, and I think we should squeeze the lemon or the fruit. The last. What's he saying? You have to squeeze the orange.
You want to extract every last ounce.
Yes.
Of quality. That's what you're getting at. I understand what you don't squeeze the lemon. Squeeze the lemon can mean in the UK can mean something a little bit different. Yes. Don't say anything. Do not say anything, please. And the devilish tacticos are in. Please don't. And I apologise to everybody out there, but it has a kind of a different.
Okay, cut. Let's start over. However, I want to extract the last drops out of Casemiro.
Stop it, Pete. Stop it. Oh, dear.
I want to extract the last.
Sorry.
Is it drops, juice, whatever? Forget that analogy. I want Casemiro to play because he's in form, and I think he can bring more to our team as in total in the last couple of games for the remainder of the season. And as long as he's not overplayed, and I think when it's not the highest of the tempo, and I don't think we will see the highest of tempo playing against a team like Nottingham Forest. So I think Casemiro will suit us better. And also the connection with Casemiro and Bruno has worked really well. So I don't want to break up that. So for me,
this is
close,
why
I would go with Casemiro.
Yeah, it's a very good point, Jarvis, because I made a similar point tonight about if Heaven was fit, you'd start Heaven over Maguire. I made that exactly that same point. You've got that nice little nucleus at the moment, which has been working well. Maybe you should keep it. So I can understand. I think that's a 50-50 split, Jarvis, my old mate.
Yes.
And don't go choking anything or squeezing anything.
Squeeze anything.
No, but you're right. The saying is you try and squeeze the last few drops of wisdom out of somebody. That type of thing is what you're getting at. And you're absolutely right. You're talking about of knowledge and of experience.
I'm just directly translating from Norwegian to English. So the saying is it's not correct.
But
you get my drift.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, mate.
Catch my drift, yeah. That's an interesting one.
That was funny. It was a good day, wasn't it? It was nice. 102 people watching, by the way, while Jarvis chokes his whatever he's choking. Jarvis, how many we got watching on YouTube, and how many do we have on Twitter?
We have about 31 people watching on YouTube, 70 people watching us on X, and always one person watching us on on
we
what's it
are
called then?
Twitch on Twitch. We're Twitch legends. I heard.
Yes.
The word on the street is that Jarvis and Stu are Twitch legends. That one person tunes in religiously. Won't miss us. Guys, if you're watching on X, if you do us a great favour, could you please pop over to YouTube? We're on 30 likes, so we're almost on 100% likes, Jarvis, on YouTube. If you guys on X quickly pop over, drop us a quick like and subscribe, we would absolutely be very grateful. Jarvis works extremely hard in the background. He's just developed a new logo, which will probably show off in a few weeks when he's happy with it. He's spent time along with his work and his children and snow plowing. He's a snow plower, doing all sorts of things for the channel. So top man as always. So please, if you're on X, please go and support my old mate because he really does deserve a like.
Thank you.
You do, old friends.
Yes, we do. We work hard. We work really hard just to try to bring you some kind of original content and not just try to.
Yeah. Pete's gone, by the way. Pete, great to have you, mate. You've been superb as always. And, oh, God. Pete coming with. I said, Chuck Norris. What's he? Oh, yeah. The old sayings are coming out. He boxes straight talk, squeeze the juice.
Squeeze the juice.
Oh, we're about to get the chicken dance from over snow plating. Tell you what, guys, you're on form tonight.
Yes. It's been a week, It's been a week since we were on. So
it's been great.
Yeah, it's been great to have some time off, and then we come back with refreshed with energy and ready to go. So the next one is I don't know. I see a lot of channels talked about this topic. It doesn't interest me as much, but I want to take the more responsible approach and talk about it, not about hate for Sancho and everything of this. I just want to say, how do we solve the situation if he comes back? Because Chelsea are allowed to break the obligation of buying with paying us £5 million. So there is a chance that he will come back. So how do we solve the situation if he comes back, Stu? How do you see us solving the situation?
I don't think you solved the Sancho situation if you take him back. What's £5 million? I don't know. It's a very strange small amount to pay as a forfeit to give us £5 million.
Mm-hmm.
We want him gone. We should. There is an obligation to buy. You buy him, and then you deal with him. Look, I'm not an "I told you so" type of guy. I think you all know me, but I said 3 years ago, don't bother. And I was accused of not knowing anything about football. You don't watch football if you don't want Jadon Sancho, and he's never fitted into Manchester United. We give him this ridiculous salary, and he just doesn't give a damn. He's Chelsea's problem, as far as I'm concerned. He should be Chelsea's problem, as far as Manchester United are concerned, and it should be Chelsea's problem, as far as Jadon Sancho is concerned. There's too many Jadon Sanchos that we've seen throughout history of football. Dele Alli is one of them. He was brilliant in his early days at Tottenham. Superb for Milton Keynes and McKay's Dons. Danny Cadamatri was another one for Everton. Francis Jeffers for Everton. All these brilliant. Ravel Morrison we know about Manchester United. You've got all of these superb footballers. Jadon Sancho is a wonderful player. He is. We can't argue. We saw what he did at Dortmund. We saw what he can do. We know what he can do. All these players that we've spoken about, Kieran Richardson, there are players that have just failed to deliver on their promise, and it's their issue. And so Manchester United should just say, no, there's no point in coming back. No point in coming back to us, Jarvis. What's £5 million going to do to us? we still got to pay him 350 grand a fucking week.
Yeah.
Or whatever he's on. What is the point? I don't want to hate on a footballer. We should never have got him in the first place. We should have gone for Rafinha at Leeds.
Yeah. 100%.
I think it was a much better. Look what he's doing at Barcelona now. He's just ripping it up. He's as good as, if not. I know that Lamine Yamal is getting all the headlines, but Rafinha has been magnificent. I don't know how many he scored this season. Rafinha, I just don't see the point in him coming back.
Yeah,
I don't get it. He's not for me. So I don't want to hate on the kid.
No. But going on the controversies, he put out that Instagram freedom #freedom to Rashford when he left to Villa, and he's not making it easy for himself.
He's 24 years old. The kid will never have to work again in his life.
No,
he can quit football tomorrow and live his life. You've got our previous number 11 at the moment in trouble, haven't you, in Marseille? He's not being picked for Marseille at the moment, and he's crying about it. Stop crying. Get on, work hard, and get yourself back in the team. They don't want to do that. He doesn't want to do that, Jarvis. We can't have him at Manchester United. So I just, no, not for me. Trev giving me stick. Good old Trev. He's there all week.
Neil, I think you're falling behind on the stream. If there's some commercials coming in, you just have to go direct, even if you miss a couple of minutes.
Here's a really good comment. Yeah. Should have kept on James. Really hard-working footballer. Knew what it meant to be a player. Maybe not a Manchester United player, but he knew what he meant to be a player. Pulisic. Again, not great player, but knew what it meant to be a footballer. Dan James is the same. Yeah, Pulisic. I don't think he's a brilliant player, but he knows
he's doing really well in that AC Milan this season.
Yeah, he is.
He's one of their best players.
He's up there with Tammy Abraham. Tammy Abraham's popping the ball in the back of the net, isn't he?
So. But my 2 pence on this Jadon Sancho situation is, okay, we can't do anything about how the contract was written. If there's a way for Chelsea to get out for £5 million, okay. But we have to move on. We have to do the best out of the situation. And I think I wouldn't take him back. I would try to loan him out straight away. Cost what it will. I don't mind. He has nowhere to be in this squad, and he shouldn't influence the squad in any way. So if I was Amorim, I would say, okay, that's the situation. Loan him out.
Crack it. I thought he had more. But half time, to be fair. Cheers for putting me straight on that. Jarvis, actually, you're right.
But and I just want to add a little bit. But when it comes to this 5 million, we got to remember with amortization, 5 million is worth 25 million when it comes to transfer.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate that.
If we get 5 million cash, we can actually buy a player for 25.
Yeah, but the biggest problem is, as you said, the biggest problem is, Jarvis, as you said, he shouldn't be stepping foot back at Carrington.
No. So we have to just loan him out. Yeah. And I think there will be clubs out there who wants him, who are willing to take a risk. But maybe we have to pay a little bit. Yeah, I don't know how much he is on a year. Are we talking £12 million?
Bit more, probably 12, 14, something like that. A bit more.
Yeah. So if we pay 50% of his salary, keeping him one more season, that would be 6-7 million for us. Yeah. And if we get 5, at least we get him for free for the next season.
It'd be interesting to see, pal.
But he's not. I'm not taking him back. No.
No, I know you're not. I know you're not.
We have Madhouse coming in. Big evening, guys and gals. Big up, Madhouse. Good to see you. Good to see you in a week. So yeah. And Rushdie comes in. This is a good question. Who negotiated that blackout clause?
Who knows?
Yeah.
It was done with. It would have been done with the Ratcliffe regime, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it was an Ashworth thing or a Wilcox thing.
But I have to say, Chelsea, they are really good negotiators. They have good negotiators at their club.
He did you hear his Toboli a couple of days ago? Did you hear him talk about their transfer strategy?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. He said they looked long and hard before they took the club over. How they would be able to build a team quickly, a squad quickly, within the rules and the parameters, but cutting it as thinly and as fine as they possibly could to stay on the right side of everything. It was a really interesting, listen. Really, it was really quite interesting.
Yeah. It was. So I have two more things to do before we wrap up the show. It's been a brilliant show so far. If you haven't smashed a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and press that notification bell, and you will get a notice every time we go live. We don't do daily content, but we try to do content with substance, so at least 2 to 3 times a week. So the next little topic I have, the Jadon Sancho thing, I think all the other channels talked about it, but we can do one more that's been discussed all over the place, and this is this guy.
Yeah,
Man United are willing to trigger Victor Osimhen's 63 million release clause.
Hjulmand might be able to tell us, but did I read today that PSG have pulled out? There's no interest with PSG anymore. If I read that, are you going to get a better striker for that type of money? Interesting. Don't know. I've always been on the fence with him, as you know, Jarvis Osimhen. I've always been on the fence with him. I'm not quite sure.
So how is his stats? His stats are, let's see. Let's just go through it. So yeah, you can see here. 1 match, 2 goals in the World Cup qualifier, African nations, and with Galatasaray this season. So he has 20 goals in 22 matches. So brilliant stats.
It's very good stats. Yeah. What was it, Napoli?
Napoli. 15 goals in 25, 26 in 32, 14 in 27 games. So double digit every season for the last 5 seasons at least.
Yeah, he's 15. He's going to guarantee you 15 goals a season, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, maybe why not? But he's got an attitude problem, hasn't he? I think the guys in some of the guys in the Devilish Tacticos are talking about his attitude. Osimhen, Stephanie comes in, could be a troublemaker. Yeah, great player. Bath time, question of his character.
Okay.
Madhouse comes in with salary. Depends on the salary.
Even 13 goals in League A when he was 19.
So boxing straight talk, Hjulmand could score 20 goals in the Turkish league. I wouldn't disagree with that, actually, to be fair.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Or would he?
Well, I who knows? We don't know, do we? But Bath time for me he's probably right here. I always talk about box players, don't I? I talk about it all the time, Jarvis, don't I? Operate in the 6-yard box. Bath time says he's an elite box player, so I would be happy with that. Look, I think we all know whether you like Osimhen or not. He's going to get you 15 goals a season. At least. So 63 mil. Harry Kane could well take the Bundesliga title this year. I'm not saying he comes to us. I'm just saying he could take the Bundesliga title. He could be on the market himself, couldn't he? He'd not want to come back, break the Premier League record.
Yeah. If I could choose, I would say yes. because, as you say, I think he will guarantee us 15 goals.
You're going to get 15 out of him, aren't you?
15, yeah, not 50, 15, yeah. So and I think also he's that type of striker who works hard. What I saw when he played for Nigeria in the African AFCON, I think he worked hard for that team and did really well. And he's not a luxury player, as I saw, at least for Nigeria.
No, he's a striker, Jarvis, but you've got to have delivery, haven't you, pal?
Yeah. And I also think if it comes to United, I think we can see in Osimhen, Bruno Fernandes relationship built, because we all saw him with Kvaratskhelia in Napoli, how they work together. So if you have someone who can feed him, he will be at the receiving end. Yeah.
No,
so I think he will actually make Bruno a better player, even give Bruno more assists. So it's an interesting one. And if
Hjulmand is about to burst the bubble.
Okay.
There you go. He knows his stuff, Hjulmand.
Forest. Okay.
Yeah. Well, Forest are going to be Champions League, aren't they?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Stephanie asked, does he take penalties? I think he takes... Yeah, he must be the penalty taker.
I would imagine so. I don't know, but I would imagine so, friend.
I don't know what is the devilish tacticals choice. Would you guys take Victor Osimhen? Let's say £63 million release clause plus little sign-on bonus, maybe 5 million, and salary of
who else?
250.
Oh, he's going to want 250
minimum.
He's going to want
250 minimum. Yeah.
If not Osimhen, then guys, who else? Because I'd love to know.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not saying I want Osimhen. I'd just love to know who you would want. It's a bit like the goalkeeper one, isn't it? The old mate.
Yeah.
You would have Oblak like that. You wouldn't even Oblak. Like that's it. Oblak.
Best goalkeeper for me. Him or I fancy also Donnarumma. I think he's good, but
I would go.
Favorite.
I would go Cunha all day. Jarvis knows where I would go. I've been very vocal about it. Madhouse, I'm with you on that one, my old mate. You see, yes. Delap's getting a lot of love.
Yeah, but he's not putting in those numbers. He's not guaranteed 15 goals a season. No, could be 5, could be 20.
Now, you've mentioned this guy before, haven't you, Samu?
Samu Omirodion, I think his name is.
Yeah, you like him, don't you?
He's really well. He's really good.
Bath Time says as well he wants Samu.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Cunha, 63 mil, a bit too much. Samu again from boxing. Yeah. If not Gokares, Chiku says if not Gokares, then yes to Osimhen. Okay. Cunha is a troublemaker. Look, he's a problem. Yeah, he is. He is a problem. But some of the best players are troublemakers. Trev. We've seen it before, haven't we? Boxing straight talk of Cunha. Here we go. Jarvis, have you seen Donnarumma? Getting a bit of grief for Donnarumma.
No, well, that particular game he was fantastic, and when it comes to claiming crosses, he was on every ball.
Yeah, you were playing. Yeah. You mentioned that because I said I didn't rate him, didn't I? Well, have you seen him on his? Have you seen him on his crosses? Well, you're not watching the game. Yeah, sorry, me old mate. No, but you're right.
But Oblak is the guy for me when it comes to goalkeepers.
Yeah, I know. You're massive. He's the one for you, isn't he?
Yeah. So yeah, there's so many options, but when it comes to the striker option,
I agree with that. Yeah, Trev's just making a point. If he throws a strop, will it be another Rashford so type problem on Cunha? But look, you can't argue with that. It's a good question. Yeah. Great question. Jonathan David, now he scored the winner against the Americans yesterday or the day before, didn't he?
Yes.
I've heard we're looking at Jonathan David as well, yeah. So
yes. I had that. I forgot to bring it up, but yeah, we are linked to Jonathan Davis. Yeah, but he's a cheap option. He's a cheap option.
He's a cheap option. You're getting
Yeah.
absolutely battered over Onana. Sorry, Donnarumma. Sorry.
Yes. Donnarumma. But just this is an old one, but I want to bring it up again. It's just we talked about him a little bit earlier in the show that we have identified the highly rated Lille goalkeeper Lucas Chevalier as a 40 million euro.
Yes, was it the Sheikh? The Sheikh was talking about him, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yes.
Sheikh Arian.
Yeah, Sheikh Arian, yeah. He rates him. He thinks he's brilliant. Sheikh does.
So why not? I don't know anything about goalkeepers, to be honest, but it's not my strongest point.
Yeah. If Jarvis likes Oblak, I'm not so sure on Oblak anymore, knowing what Jarvis likes. I do like that comment. That's brilliant. I do. There's some absolutely brilliant comments tonight, guys. Thanks. We've had a week off and we've missed you guys, so thank you very much. Isn't James Trafford the most likely, or Ramsey on a free? Look, Jarvis did mention James Trafford a bit earlier about time.
Yeah, we brought him up. So we had the Trafford discussion already. But I think we...
the goalkeeping. Do you want to revise your statement, Jarvis? I'm just wondering. You stick to your guns, pal. Another one here for Chevalier, by the way. Top quality. City or Rolfo after him. Oh, that's interesting. I'm going to have a look at him. Angel Gomez. I think this is just a general. Oh, sorry, y'all. Angel Gomez also on the list. Old ex-player.
Yes. So I'm on to the last topic of the night.
Yes,
we are 1 hour 47 minutes, so there won't be any time for the Q&A. But we have done some questions from you guys and interacted really well this show. So I don't think there's no need for a Q&A. And if you have any questions, fire them away, and we will try to answer as good as we can. But this is the last topic, and it's a little bit heavy. But so you don't have to tell everything about it, but you can give me your quick opinions too. The Premier League clubs will discuss closing the summer transfer window this year on August the 14th, 2 days before the Premier League starts. So there will be a meeting on Thursday, as reported by Sam Wallace. So how do you see it? Do you agree on closing the summer transfer window? Don't you think it gives all the other clubs from the other leagues a competitive edge on the Premier League clubs, or is this something that we should go for?
I think the biggest problem is it's upset. It's what happens is when you are being linked with a club, and you can, the transfer window is open till the 1st or 3rd of September, depending on when the Monday or the Tuesday falls. Then players are on edge. They're uneasy. Clubs, managers, coaches, everyone's uneasy. Agents are busy scrambling around trying to get the best deal, and clubs are waiting for a bid. They've had contact with the player. Player wants to go. They're waiting for a bid. The bid doesn't come in until August the 28th, and then, well, what do we do now? It's Harry Kane to Bayern Munich on August the 28th. The transfer window shuts on September the 1st. What the fuck are we going to do? Harry Kane wants to go. How the hell are we going to find a Kane-esque striker in 3 days? So I think it should have always been the transfer window closes before the start of the season. It should always be that way. I agree with it. It's the right move. Clubs will be so much happier. We'll be happier as fans. How many times, Jarvis, me and you've been on a stream in August? What the hell are we going to do? You said yourself 3 weeks ago, we're not going to get the players into the end of August. You said yourself, didn't you?
Yeah.
If there is a deadline,
I stand with that standpoint. I still think
you do. I know. You're a man of your convictions, and that's great. But just imagine if you can't do any business, you're not going to bring a player in 1 day before the season. You're going to get everything done ready for July. I love it. It's the right thing to do, in my opinion. I don't think it'll happen. Actually, I'd love it to, Jarvis. I really would. I don't think it'll happen. But for me, it's got to be the one.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think we should avoid giving the other clubs in Europe a competitive edge on the Premier League. I agree in principle. There shouldn't be a transfer window open after the season starts. It should be all settled. But as long as the other clubs, Serie A, Spain, France, Germany, are open, I don't think it's a good thing. I think it will give them a competitive edge, and they can just hold on for players the Premier League clubs want to buy. And if they don't buy it, okay, you will have another go.
You're absolutely right. I think
you will raise the bar and make it even more expensive for the crowd, people to come to watch football in England because of this.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So if you can't agree with all the other big leagues, I would say
You've got to leave it. You've got to leave it. Yeah, no, I think you're right, Pat. No, I think you're right.
Yeah. I don't know what are the guys saying in the Devilish Tacticals too.
Let's have a quick look. Steph says, just change the window to deadline day only. I like that. Bath Time says, in principle, he likes the idea. In practice, he can't see it happening. I agree.
Yeah, we agree. Bath Time. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Trev says, earlier transfers will integrate players into the system quicker. Agree. The transfer window seems to be in opposition to EU employment law. Absolutely. Football's been EU and actually employment law and football, they just don't seem to go hand in hand, do they?
No.
Serie A wants to do the same as the Prem, or is it Spain? I'm not quite sure, Jarla, but I think it'd be a good idea.
Okay.
And it's down to UEFA to even everything out. I think they're weak on this. I think Madhouse is right. Jarvis, what a brilliant show, pal. We've got about 8 minutes before 2 hours. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think I have nothing more. We have talked a lot about transfers and stuff like that. But
we've just chatted constantly, pal. It's been a brilliant show. I've loved it tonight. It's a nice bit of nostalgia, history, reminiscing when we were all kids. No, it's been absolutely great. Guys, put in the post comments after the chat what games you'd like to see me and Jarvis break down. Maybe try and pick a game from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and 2000s, and then we'll break down an older game for you.
Yeah.
And do you know what would be really interesting, guys, about it when we break down? Just how similar it will be from today to what football was like in the 70s. It'd be really interesting for us all to see. Norwich away, 1994. He's talking Kachalskis, Cantona, Ince.
McClear, Hughes.
The goals. Kachalskis, Cantona, Ince. 3-1.
Don't spoil it. We're going to break it down. We're going to break down the game.
Well, I think those were the goal scorers. So we got 1994. We got the 99 final. Yeah, I think we should perhaps do the 99 final.
Or the 91 final.
Or the 91 final, yeah. Isaac to Liverpool when they sell Nunes. But Neil Driscoll has come in with Harry Kane to Liverpool.
Ooh.
Seen that rumour going around?
Well, I think it could be an option if they lose Mo Salah. Just as
that's very kind.
Big name.
This is very kind. This is. Thank you, Trev. We very much appreciate that, pal.
Thank you.
Ipswich 95, the 9-0. Andy Cole, 5 goals. Absolutely brilliant. Question. There's a question here.
Okay.
Which centre-back would you bring in? Ooh. No, that is a great question.
That's a good question, yeah.
Sam, that's a really, really good question.
I like Iheanacho. I saw him yesterday play for Portugal. I think he looks really good. Inacio, the guy from Sporting.
Yeah.
Left-footed, I believe he is.
I'm going to be a bit controversial here, Jarv.
Okay.
I like Anderson from Fulham.
Oh, he's good. He's good.
I like Anderson from Fulham. And I tell you why I like him. He's aggressive.
Mm.
He's not particularly slow either. Not fast, but he's not slow. But he's aggressive. He'll go up for a header. He'll get touch ties. He'll drop off a couple of yards. I'm sorry. I know it's not the choice, but I like Anderson. I really do.
So these are choices that's been linked to us, I believe. Brandtwaite, Huijsen, Hjulmand, Inacio, Morten Bells.
Yeah, I like Anderson. I do. I've mentioned him a few times, Jarv. You noticed me. I always go back to Anderson, don't I? I just like him. There's just something about him that I like. He's not, honestly, I know he's not. He won't be popular. But, sometimes the popular choices are sometimes the better. I look, a few years ago when Cody was in his absolute peak at Wolves, I'd have taken Cody like that. Because he got a calming presence, brilliant talker. The other one would be, and we haven't got a hope of getting him, is Gay, obviously, but we haven't got a hope. Yeah,
Jack Reeves, Ipswich.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah, there's some goods.
Jacob Reeves is his name, maybe.
You've been asked a question that you already mentioned. I'm going to bring it up because you mentioned him to me before the show started. Trinkan.
Yes.
Why can't I get the fucking question up? Where is he? Here, there you go. You mentioned it to me. That's the only reason I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, as I said, if you're going to bring any Sporting player, I think Trincao is the best. He's the best of all.
You rate him, don't you?
Yeah. He's fantastic.
Yeah, it is. This is true as well. Anderson, the Palace fans are furious when he was sold. He's a very, 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 very good centre back. Very good centre back. Let's have a look. Who have we got? O'Brien. Oh, O'Brien. Jake O'Brien. Trevor Ways mentioned Jake O'Brien from Lyon. Ended up at Everton, centre back, right back. He's a man standing.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
Yeah, I agree.
He played really well against us. That left-hand
He
side.
did,
Was it the right-hand side?
Yeah. No, I thought he was the right-hand side, wasn't he? Jack O'Brien was the right-hand side.
Yeah.
Jake O'Brien, not Jack. Jake O'Brien, yeah.
He was the guy behind the diamond on their side, so yeah.
Great chance here. I've forgotten about Slotterberg. Slotterbeck. It's a great chance. It's a great traveller. He's still at Chelsea, isn't he, Chalobah?
Chalobah, yeah.
There's some great ones, but no, it would be Anderson for me, my top choice. But look, there's some great choices out there.
Yes. I think it's time to wrap up the show. I don't want to go over 2 hours, so it's been a great show.
No,
I see Rich is in the house, Red Devil United. If you haven't, go to his channel and subscribe. It's a great channel.
Yes, please.
And he's back on the air tonight, so big up, Rich.
Hope you're feeling better, Rich,
guy, Bath Time, all this great knowledge. It's good to have you in the chat, Bath Time. And Neil Driscoll stayed on for the full show. Madhouse came in late, but always welcome. Good to see you, Madhouse.
Stephanie. Trev Wade, of course. My old mate, the Sheikh, was in. The Mustard's been in. Crikey, everyone's been in.
Yes.
It's been a great show. Great show.
Been a great show, yes. So, girls and boys, if you haven't, now it's time to smash the like before we end the show and leave a comment in the non-live section. Give me your game from the older days, the 70s, 80s, 90s, that you want me and Stu to make a tactical breakdown of. So it will be great. I was thinking maybe Sheffield Wednesday, Man United, the notorious game when Steve Bruce scored the 2 headers in the dying minutes.
Yes, that'd be a good one.
Yeah,
I'd like to do the 1979 FA Cup final between Arsenal and Manchester United. We lost the game, but I would like to do that. Anyway, we need to close the show. We need to end the show.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for tuning in. It's been a great show. Thank you, Stu, for being with me for 2 hours. It's been fantastic. And guys and girls, tune in on the next
All the
show.
very
We will
best,
be back.
guys.
So have a good one and good night.
Good night. And it's good night from him.
Yes.